Hello everyone, and welcome to this lesson about gerunds and infinitives. So before we even get to talk about what a gerund is or what an infinitive is, we need to always ask ourselves why we use this. Why is it important for me to understand the difference between gerunds and infinitives? And this really comes down to asking yourself this question. What happens when you have two verbs together in English, like I need go or we love run? Well, here's the simple answer. You can't do that. You simply cannot have two verbs together in English, and that's what I put over here. It is impossible for you to say, I hate drive or she wants sleep. So we have two solutions for that. One solution is to use the infinitive, which means that you separate these two verbs with to. Or the other solution is to make the second verb, see this right here is the main verb, is the first one, and the second one is the one that we turn into ing, is the one that we turn into the gerund, right? So the gerund, again, is a verb followed by ing, like this. I enjoy working. I stopped watching the movie. And the infinitive is the one where you separate both verbs with to. The important thing to remember about this is that the next verb is the pure, the absolute, unchanged version of the verb. So here we have, we need to go outside. Oh my God, yes, we need to go outside in this time of quarantine. Independent people decide to do whatever they want. So you see, whenever you use need and you have another verb, you need to use the infinitive. Whenever you use decide and then you have another verb, then you need to use the infinitive. Whenever you have enjoy and you have another verb, you need to use the gerund. So you need to turn the next verb into an ing. Let's take a look at a couple of rules. So this is a very, very common mistake, and this is something that you don't want to do. You never want to have the to together with an ing. Okay, maybe not never, but 98% of the time. This is the most general rule. So the thing you don't want to do is, I want to going, we love to eating, ice cream, etc. You don't want to put to together with an ing. There are some times where you can do it, but this is mostly for expressions. And I can talk about that a little bit later. But here's an example of an expression. We have, I look forward to going to your house. What does it mean to say, I look forward to going to your house? And then I have a happy face, right? That means that I'm excited. I look forward to going to your house. This is a nice expression if you want to write a letter or if you want to write an email to somebody and you want that person to know that you're waiting for their response. So I look forward to hearing from you soon. Oh, I look forward to seeing you soon. I look forward to meeting you soon. But remember that to and ing is mostly for expressions, but 98% of the time you do not use to together with an ing. So it is important to also remember that the main verb, which remember I told you you have two verbs. For instance, I want go. So we have want and we have go. Want changes. So I wanted to go home if it was yesterday. I wanted to sleep. I want to sleep right now. I will want to have ice cream later in the future, right? I have wanted to go home for 5 hours. This is, later we will get into this, but this is what you call the present perfect. So this part over here changes depending on what you're talking about. If it's yesterday, it's past. If it's now, it's present. If it's tomorrow, it's future, etc. So in this case, want goes together with an infinitive. But in this other case, we have quit, right? So quit is one that normally, or always rather, quit is one that always follows a gerund, you see? So again, smoking is my gerund right here. Smoking is my gerund. So I quit smoking yesterday. I will quit smoking tomorrow. I have quit smoking already, you see? So smoking is always there. It doesn't change. Nothing happens to smoking. Now, what does change is the first verb, you see? Maybe you could even say, I am quitting smoking. So I am quitting is just the verbal form. But smoking is the actual gerund. So some of you might say, oh, but it's ing and it's ing. No, it is not. The gerund does not have the ing form. The gerund is like a transformation, you see? So I am quitting smoking. I am quitting is the main verb, is the time at the moment, right? And then smoking is the one that is attached to it. She is hoping to go home at the moment, you see? Hope goes together with an infinitive. So we never change this. We change this, but not this. She is hoping to go home. She hoped to go home. She will hope to go home. And here we have another example, but with the verb go. It is very common for people to use go and ing to talk about activities. Like, I like to go fishing. I like to go running. I want to go dancing. Let's go shopping. So go and ing refers to an activity that you do. So now you may be wondering, okay, so how do I know that the next verb is going to be a gerund or the next verb is going to be an infinitive? How do I know? I have two verbs together. How do I know that it is, I avoid, right here, I avoid to use the telephone every day, or I avoid using the telephone every day? How do I know that? And the simple answer really is practice. If you want to know a little bit more, if maybe you want a different, more advanced explanation, I could do that for you, maybe privately. However, in this case, the best answer that I can give you is practice. Practice, 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 practice. The more you see things, the more you can recognize them, and the more you can use them, right? So here, you'll see that this list of verbs is the list of verbs that usually contains a gerund afterwards. So if I have the word enjoy, I know that the next verb is going to be an ing. I enjoy working. I know if I have dislike, the next verb is going to be ing. I dislike driving on I-95, which is true. Notice how here are the exceptions. You see, here is to followed by ing. I am used to going to the gym every day, you see, but that is an exception. You see, there's another exception over here. And, ooh, there it is, the exception that I told you about, to look forward to. But in general, you see there's no to anywhere here. There's no to anywhere here. And so it's important to realize this, right? So just to make it simple and to make it more clear, these verbs, when you have two verbs together, this one, the verb that follows this one, that goes after this one, will be an ing. Let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. In this case, these are the ones that are followed by an infinitive, meaning that the verb that goes after here is to, and then the verb, to, and then the verb, like this. I agreed to go to your house yesterday. I agreed to go to your house, not I agreed to going to your house. No, don't do that. I asked to leave early today. I will decide to change my career later on if I don't like the one that I'm doing. I hope to improve my English in this class, which I'm sure that you will. I learned to drive when I was 15 years old, you see? So I learned to drive, not I learned driving, no, or I learned to driving, no. I learned to drive. Of course, there are some verbs that can follow the gerund or that could have an infinitive. For example, I like. You could say, I like to run or I like running. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. You know, tomato, tomato, you choose what you like. Yeah, I prefer to sleep in the afternoons, or I prefer sleeping in the afternoons. It started to rain or it started raining. It doesn't really matter. But in some cases, it does. So let's take a look at two of these. Let's take a look at remember and let's take a look at stopped or stop. Normally, remember with the gerund, which is the ing, has to do with a memory. So I'll give you an example. When I was a child, I remember going to my grandmother's house every single weekend. So that's something that is in my mind, that's a memory. You know, in this case, it's a happy memory. I could say, oh my gosh, you know, when I lived in New York, I remember going to Central Park every single Saturday. Oh my God, that was so nice. You see? So this is a situation in my past that I remember about. It's a memory. While if you use remember with the infinitive, meaning remember to, it's something that you have to do. Like, I remember to lock my door every time I leave the house. I remember to record my meeting every single time that I have a class. I remember to do my exercises in the class. You see, so that's something that you have to do. Remember, and ing is a memory. Something that happened and you're, oh my God, I remember that. It was so great. And remember to is something that you have to do. I remember to brush my teeth every day. I hope you guys remember to brush your teeth every day. Now let's talk about stop. When you have stop, let's just take a look at this right here. You have an ongoing action, right? I could say, here's my ongoing action, and I stopped. So I would say, I stopped writing. Yeah, I stopped writing. So that's the gerund. I'm writing, right? And then I stop. I stopped writing. If I have my headphones here, I say, what? What'd you say? I stopped listening to music, you see? So I was doing an action and then I stopped. I stopped listening to music. I was in the process of writing and I stopped writing. However, when you use stop and then the infinitive, which is stopped to, it means that you were doing one action and you stop that particular action to start another action. So I'll give you an example here. So I'm listening to music, right? I stopped this to do this. Yeah, so it's like I said, I stopped listening to music. Why? To write. So I could say, I stopped to write. Let's say that I'm going to Disney World and I'm really hungry. It's 4 hours. It's a long drive. And I started driving at 6 a.m. and now it's 9 and I'm really hungry and I know I'm almost at Disney World, but I want food. So I could say I stopped driving. Why? To eat. I stopped driving to eat. Now, if I want to take away driving, I could say I stopped to eat. See, I don't have to say I stopped driving to eat. I could say I stopped to eat. Let's say that I am on my way to, I'm on my way to school and I don't have gas in my car. So I'm here talking to my friend and I say, oh my God, I don't have any gas. I need to stop. I need to stop this action, right? I need to stop to put gas in my car. You see that difference? So when you have stop and the gerund, which is the ing, I stopped driving, that's it. You're just telling me what you stopped doing, right? But when you use stop and then the infinitive, then you're telling me that you stopped an action and now you're telling me why. You stopped an action to do another action. Now, there is also a possibility to put a noun or pronoun, or just to make it simple, a person. You can put a person here between the infinitive. So this is when you want somebody to do something. You want somebody else to do something. So in this case, I allowed who? I allowed my cat to do what? I allowed my cat to come in every single day. See, so now I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about my cat. I asked my mom, what did I ask? I asked my mom to take out the garbage. I expect who? I expect my students what? To do well on the test. Here's another one. I teach who? My students what? To use grammar. I tell who? I tell my husband what? To pay attention to me. See, so this is basically when you want somebody else to do something. So I want somebody to do something for me. I pay my brother to do my homework for me. That's terrible. Why would you do that? I pay my brother to do my homework for me. So with these particular verbs, you can actually have somebody else, not you, do something. So there's a difference. I asked to go outside. That means that I asked if I could go outside. I asked to go outside. But now I want to ask somebody else to go outside. I asked my husband to go outside. I hope that makes sense. So basically, in a nutshell, what does it mean to say in a nutshell? In a nutshell means in simple form, in short form, in a nutshell, you cannot use two verbs together. That's it. That's the point of this whole lesson. You cannot use two verbs together. You can only do one of two things. You can use the gerund or you can use the infinitive, right? What is the gerund? Well, the gerund is the ing form, right? The gerund is the ing form. I enjoy working. I stopped watching, right? And the infinitive is the to and the verb together. I need to go to the store. I decided to eat vegetables from now on. All right? And that's the basic idea. The best advice that I can give you is practice. There's no secret. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you learn. So go ahead and do your practice, and I will see you guys in the next class.